Happy Sunday, folks, and happy start to the third unit of our course. We've spent the past 2 weeks learning all about how to incorporate details and description into our writing, about audience awareness, about how to distinguish between a reliable and an unreliable source, and how to then utilize direct quotations and other evidence in our writing, and of course, how to cite that evidence once we've decided that it is indeed reliable and useful to us in fulfilling our purpose. So now we're going to continue working toward the creation of our argument essay. So the main focus of Unit 3 is developing a strong thesis statement. You may have heard the term claim used instead of thesis statement or interchangeably with it, but both terms refer to the same thing, which is the central idea of your paper. It's the idea around which all your evidence and points are organized, and every single paragraph in your paper should be dedicated in a clear way to proving your thesis statement. So, in your essay, the thesis statement should be stated as quickly as possible, as clearly as possible. It'll often appear, in fact, as the last sentence of your essay's first paragraph or your introduction. And a vivid thesis statement will announce the steps of its argument, not just provide a flat statement of the essay's goal. So you can sort of think of the thesis statement as a roadmap that gives directions to your reader rather than as a picture of your final destination. You'll also be taking a closer look at the concept of plagiarism this week. And in fact, that's going to be the subject of this week's discussion board. For your assignment this week, it's really more of an exercise than a formal writing task. So rather than creating your own document and composing a paragraph or any other form of writing, you're instead going to download the template document available to you in Blackboard, and you can see it here. And the document includes specific instructions, and it's all laid out for you. And you're just going to go through here, and you're going to complete two different parts of this exercise that is designed to give you some practice, not only with writing thesis statements, but also with revising them and making sure that they're the strongest, best possible thesis statements that they can be. So in part one, you are going to be provided with a series of pre-written thesis statements, but the thesis statements are not good. Okay, for various reasons, they are lacking specificity. They're not really taking a clear stance. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go through to each one of these pre-written thesis statements, and you're going to revise it to make it better. You'll decide what exactly you need to do to make it better. Part of that is kind of diagnosing what's wrong with it. In other words, is it too vague, or what's the issue? Okay. So the first thing that you'll do is you'll provide that rewritten, revised thesis statement, the one you think is better. And then after that, you're also going to provide a rationale for the revision. So in other words, you're going to explain what was wrong with it to start with, and then what did you do to make it better? Why is it better now? Now, although this is not a formal writing assignment, you still want to make sure that your rationale is written professionally and appropriately for this academic context. So obviously we want to be using complete sentences. We want to make sure that our spelling, grammar, punctuation, capitalization is all, correct. So please don't shortchange that part of this exercise. And the rationale doesn't need to be especially long. We're looking for 1, 2, 3, probably 2 or 3 sentences. So nothing too long. You don't have to beat around the bush. Just tell us what you did, explain why this is a better thesis statement. Okay, so that's what you'll be doing in part one. Now, as you scroll down to part two, you'll see that you're given a little bit less to work with. So this time, instead of being provided with a specific, or I guess not a specific, but a pre-written thesis statement, you're going to be instead provided just with a topic. Okay, and the topics are very broad. They're not really specific at all, so it's your job to make them more so. So you're going to have to narrow the focus. And again, you're going to choose how to do that. You have an example here as well as in the section above. So if the topic is, for instance, grandma's house, what about grandma's house? Okay. And you decide. Okay. So you're going to write a thesis statement about that topic. And then you're also going to provide, similar to above, a brief explanation of why you think your thesis statement is good. Okay. And again, just a few sentences here, nothing too much. Okay? So again, you're not going to be downloading, or rather, you're not going to be creating your own Microsoft Word document. You're simply going to download this document that's available to you in Blackboard. You'll do all your work in this document, and then you will upload that document back to Blackboard at the end of the week. And finally, just a reminder to pay close attention to all instructions, whether it's a set of assignment criteria or it's your discussion prompt. Just make sure that you're paying really close attention to it so that you can meet all the expectations that have been set up for you. I think that's all for now, but just a reminder, please reach out with any questions or concerns that you may have. I'm here to help. Okay? Have a great week.